Hello, I'm Dapzury Valenzuela. I'm the Art Direction Professor at the University of Advancing Technology.
Welcome, Professor. Thank you for being here today. We have invited you here today so that we can give future students a general idea on what to expect as they attend UAT. Let's begin. First, I'd like for us to talk about yourself. Do you have any pets? And do you have any hobbies that you like to indulge in?
I do. I have a tortoise, Crushin the Russian tortoise. Had him for almost 12 years. I also have fish. And it's interesting because even though he's quiet, he definitely showcases intelligence when we interact with him. So it's nice to have him around. And as far as indulgence, I'm a big avid reader. I believe in physical books. Even though I'm surrounded by all the wonderful technology, I think that books are a wonderful way for you to grow and extend yourself and explore other concepts that you may not have considered before. And so I'm a big proponent of reading.
Thank you for giving us a little bit of insight of who you are on a personal level. Now, I'd like to shift our focus over to UAT. What do you teach here at UAT?
I teach classes in business technology, digital marketing, and advertising art. I also run the Student Innovation Project for all majors, and that is a long-term project that students are involved in where they create an innovative tech-based product or service. They pitch it to their subject matter experts, which are their full-time professors within their major, to get the idea approved in order for them to execute a minimal viable prototype, which they showcase at our end of the semester SIP showcase.
That sounds very interesting. For any of the general courses, would you like to tell us about the general workload that a student should expect if they were to take one of your courses?
I teach in 3 different modalities: online 5-week courses, Simplex 7.5-week, as well as on-ground 15-week courses. If a student is enrolled in an online 5-week course, naturally that's more fast-paced, a little more demanding, so it requires students to be very aware of their time management, making sure that they upload their content in a timely manner so that way they can get feedback, learn how to take in information quickly and apply that information to what they've learned. In the Simplex modality, it's a nice hybrid between the two because it's condensed, but not so much so that they feel it's too fast-paced. And we run that on-ground as well as our Teams virtual component. And then our on-ground 15-week courses are a great way for professors to really kind of explore all options of that topic, apply it to discussions, assignments, and projects. That way the student can ultimately create content that they can put into their portfolios.
Thank you. And from any of these courses, is there any specific project that you always look forward to the most?
One of the classes that I enjoy teaching the most is Introductions to the Adobe Creative Suite with Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign, because students are exposed at times to software that they've never used before. And when they're submitting their early projects, I see glimpses of genius, of potential, of creativity that they, if only practiced a little more, they would essentially advance. So those classes are enjoyable. A lot of the classes where I teach special topic courses like the digital divide is important to me because I want to make sure that I'm exposing our future generations to the issues that we face as a society, making sure that underrepresented groups, marginalized communities have access to something as simple as the internet, so that way they can have the ability to showcase their genius. And also classes in SIP, because I'm able to foster and facilitate from ideation all the way to creation of their minimal viable prototype. And these ideas are completely different. Each student is unique, and I get to get a glimpse of what they're working on along the way.
That all sounds incredible. Thank you for sharing that with us. Now, how would you say that UAT is different from other universities?
UAT is different because we are much smaller than traditional state universities, as it allows students to have a smaller class to professor ratio. So if they need things like tutoring, more guidance, more support, they're able to seek it out more quickly. As opposed to working within departments that are much larger. It also helps to cultivate relationships that they can nurture and essentially keep forever. Another thing that makes us unique is SIP, because students are required to prove their innovation to their professors in order to get their idea approved and also showcase a functional prototype at the end of the semester SIP showcase. So when they go out into industry, not only do they have a resume with their job experience, with their degrees, they also can prove that they've done something different, whether that was making something more efficient, less expensive, faster, just a better mousetrap. They've proven that through our courses.
You really make it sound like UAT is able to stand out on its own. As a professor, what would you say motivates you to teach?
What motivates me to teach is that moment where students see the potential in themselves, where they're creating something, and then that could essentially lead to bigger and greater ideas. My mom is a retired teacher, and so watching her grade was something that I wanted to one day do myself. And when I first started teaching, I was still a working professional, and setting foot in that classroom and meeting with the students and working with them just hooked me to education. So even though I continue to work in industry, I prioritize teaching because it's so rewarding just being part of that progression.
Thank you so much for answering our questions today, Professor. I have high hopes that this interview will be able to make future UAT students feel at ease while attending the university.
My pleasure.